said. See it in your mind. Trust that you have what it takes inside. 'Cause you can make it too. If not says who, yeah, you can make it too. If not says who, you can make it.
It's 5:05 in the morning. I'm getting my boots on, ready to get ready to head out. I bought a new pair of breeches. They're the carrots ones. These sticky butt, or yeah, the sticky butt. And then I also got these for Renita. Okay, we are done getting Starbucks. I needed some caffeine. Oh, it's good. It's basically a skinny cinnamon dolce latte with half and half. With half and half. Because obviously keto, but I have like the no sugar syrup and whatnot. No, I think I actually have sweet cream cold foam on here, and I don't know 100% sure if it's for sure keto friendly. But I did check the app, and then somebody put it in there, and it wasn't. It said it was keto friendly, but I'm just gonna choose to believe that because I love my sweet cream, vanilla sweet cream cone foam. It's so good. So, plan for this morning is to dump and refill their water buckets, refill their hay, give them grain. God, the sunset behind me looks so beautiful. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. And then kind of just, actually I gotta clean my tack. And then once I'm done with that, hopefully it'll be around time for me to start kind of getting Renita ready. I am going to lunge her in side reins, just to get her a little bit more relaxed, but I can't decide if I want to do it right before I ride, or if I want to do it and then put her back in the stall. I think I'm going to have to do it and then put her back in the stall in front of the fan so she can cool off. But I don't know. God, I can't get over how beautiful this is behind me. I guess normally in my car when I'm doing stuff like this, you don't see the suns because it's like, obviously smaller, but it's like being in a panoramic view. What are you doing? Huh? Did you eat some yummy hair? Your braids don't look bad. Good boy. He's a good man. What's going on? Huh? You're beautiful. Beautiful girl. Very pretty. Good girl. Good girl. Canter? Canter? This right here, pretty girl. This right here. This is what we want in the ring, girl. Good girl. Beautiful. Good girl. Beautiful. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. It always comes out so stiff. You gotta loosen you up, kiddo. Come on. Come on. Pay attention. Good boy. Trot. Good boy. Walk on. Walk on. He's so handsome. Are you so handsome?
Yes. Right here. This is yep, side brand, yep. That's right. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Great. I think
We didn't even get on 64. I don't want it now. And there was a big restaurant next to it. We didn't oh, the Italian. No, it's seafood. We actually had a really good Mexican restaurant.
And so for the last couple days, you run around. She looks great.
Keep that up. Give you a couple more changes of direction now.
I will.
Good. Watch the nose wiggle, Tammy. Steady. Balance on the haunches, not on the forehand. Remember your half halt. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're going up a staircase.
Your range a little shorter.
Yeah. Super, Tammy. Tammy, I want you to walk, but I want you just to walk for a couple steps and then trot off again. Keep the hind end coming. Keep the hind end, then trot. Do a couple of those. Get them just a little bit more off your age, right? And then trot. Yeah, that was better. Feel like you can half halt and back and he sits and then you put your leg on and he pops off.
So as you can see, she warmed up really good. It's kind of unfortunate that the dressage ring, the way you enter, walks back to the barn. For horses, I mean, being barn sour is quite a normal problem, but either way, you're going to experience stuff like that. Not everything's going to be perfect. And with a horse like her, who's very hot, very, I want to say nervous, but kind of anxious, especially on the flat. She just wants to go, 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 go. And she's always been like this. She's calmed down quite a bit, but either way, this was the novice A test, I think. And so she can see she's kind of rushing down the line and she's kind of bracing against me. And I'm just trying to stay tall and just keep her from rushing, you know. So I really wanted to let her go to try and let her stretch down. But I was afraid she was going to take off and start cantering. So there's definitely spots where she did, like right here, because again, we were heading, she did it when we were pointing back to the barn. So really any spot that looked like it was leaving the ring or heading to the barn, she tried to rush. So she did have a lot of really good moments. Like that didn't look too bad. I mean, she's really a great mover. She gets stressed out. So in the serpentine, she starts cantering there because, again, going back to the barn. So I will say this dressage saddle I have, since I've lost so much weight, doesn't quite fit me the right way anymore. And I have the most extreme saddle sores and chafing around my girl parts that by this day, because I warmed them up or schooled them on Friday evening, and it honestly was like the most painful every single time I had to canter or when I was trotting. Like it was just, I'm not gonna lie, there were spots that were rubbed so raw they were bleeding. So that is kind of why I look like I'm riding the way that I am, like kind of forward. I was just really trying to keep my pelvis off the front of the saddle. So it was unfortunate, but by the time it was like Zeke's turn, I was in so much pain. I couldn't, like, it was terrible. I mean, I didn't feel it as much in my jump saddle, obviously, because it puts you in a different position. But she definitely did not want to walk. I mean, the walk is always her hardest thing, but I really did have to like kind of point her as far away from the barn as I could to try and get her to even do a remotely close thing to a walk. So you can see she's just like, let's just get, like, I see the barn. Like, why aren't we going back there? Like, I just don't want, why are we here? What are we doing? Like, and it wasn't, it just, we had a rough test. She just wasn't quite there for me here. So I just tried to stay as up tall as I could without hurting myself more than I already was. I'm not even kidding. I put Neosporin all in that area. But yeah, this was not our best dressage test. But you can see, like, I'm just kind of like, oh my god, I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much pain. Every like sit, I'm like, ow, 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 ow. And then you can see how she didn't want to transition down. She came above the bridle. The judge was like, let her go more forward. And I was like, I would really love to, but like, she doesn't stop. Like, until you ride her, you don't really, she is not a smooth horse to ride when she's being like this. It's really tough. So I'm just trying to like half halt release, half halt release, half halt release, half halt release, half halt release. That's all I was trying to do, just to get her listening to me. And she just was bracing. She was up and down and up and down and up and down. And she just really, it's just such a shame because of how beautiful she was when she warmed up. Like, that was probably the best like flat ride I've ever had on her. Is in the warm-up. So you can see I'm just half halting and then half halting and then half halting and then trying to get her to listen to me, and she just, but looking through her USEF record, she had, I mean, her dressage scores were in the 40s and 50s for everything. And then there's, the halt, and I'm like, oh my god, Renita, come on, seriously.
I think you can just step
anyway,
over.
this is warming up for jumping, and I think I'm gonna let you guys just watch this because I don't really think there's anything I need to voice over here. It was just her doing her thing and doing what she's doing.
It's right there.
All right, entry number 11 finishes.
I think, I mean, yeah, his eye's better. And, like, clearing up.
Just a reminder again, coats are waved. Coats are waved. Please hydrate, drink lots of water, keep an eye on your horse today. Keep an eye on yourself. Horse showing is a whole lot of fun unless you fall off because you dehydrate.
I don't know what show she's judging a show, but she didn't tell me where or when or how.
Maybe inside. Look inside.
Hey, Casey. How you doing? Good. How are you? Good. Well, it's updated.
Ooh.
I'm gonna do this. No. Some bugs. I'm trapped some bugs. I had a spider in my hand.
Joining us on course to start our Open Novice A division is number 15, Kelsey Cole and Renita.
So this was probably one of my favorite moments of the day, was just this jump test, because she was so good, and this first half of the course was probably the best we had ever done. I could have given a little bit of a better release there, but we did have this turn, and that one jump kind of, like, the line looks like you're supposed to jump this one I'm about to jump, so she kind of locked onto that one, so I had to be like, hey, snap out of it. But there, I felt like we got in perfectly, gave her a little halt there, came up great to that vertical, that distance there. I was still, like, honestly, like, I was very kind of hunchy in this round. That's what I was kind of talking about, where I just didn't really like my equitation that much. And it's because of how much everything was in pain down there. So, one little pop up there. And then as we came around this corner, she saw the long distance. I didn't. I give her a little half halt, and then she just clipped that back rail. And either way, I'm glad that she waited for me, got in a little deep there, but she was so keen and got out of it really nice. Coming up to this fence, had a really nice distance to that, just kind of let her go. And then little roll back here, and sat back, and there we go. I was so happy. So now this is obviously Zeke warming up, and by this point, I was in so much pain. You can kind of see how I'm posting is just, I just look weird compared to what I normally am, because it just happens. So I was trying really hard to not look like I was in pain, but I didn't do a very good job, I think. But he warmed up really, really good. He looked so happy, and he was just like, hey, this is pretty interesting. And I think he was like, when we went and did our dressage test, he was like, oh, that's it? I thought there was more to it than that, because he's normally done like second, third, and even fourth level tests. So anyway, I'll let you guys watch me warm up.
Where have you been?
Hi! Sorry, I'm sorry.
I love this. These are my favorite things. Is extreme. Like you used to have like really big pieces of nuts and stuff. It's not quite as good. I did have it. I did enjoy it. But it still had great. But it wasn't like it used to be, like falling out of like nuts and stuff, you know.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get a bowl.
Okay. Yeah, get a bowl and have it for
That's gonna be
for
my
tomorrow.
dinner tonight.
Awesome.
No, that's tonight.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Jerry and I were like, okay. Yeah, and I said, I really want chicken salad too. So we left and went to the bathroom, got our chicken salad.
And they're set up in this smaller
In the
room down
smaller
here.
ring, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I came to watch Queeny and Melissa do the dressage. They're finished.
Oh.
And then I'm thinking I'm gonna stay.
Why don't you come down to the stadium and have extra chairs?
So, this is our dressage test. I think we got like a 33.1 or something like that. After this dressage test, I think we were in 4th place. So I think there was 13 or 18 or something like that people in this division. So this is the beginner novice test A. And I thought he was going to spook coming into this corner, but he didn't. So I was like, wow, okay. So coming through, you can see he's like, ooh, straight away, let's kind of go into an extended trot. And I'm like, buddy, no, that's not this test. So I had to kind of bring him back a little bit and give him a little half halt and sit against him a little bit. But he was doing really good. I think the judge on one of the movements said, excuse me, too beige. And I was like, what does too beige even mean? Like, come on. But I think, I mean, we had a lot of 7s, a lot of 6s, and then a 4 on our haul, which you'll see at the end. But I was like, I think he did a lot better than that. Truthfully, like, I felt like he did really good. He was on point for almost all of the transitions. He was, for the most part, over his top line. He didn't spook at anything. He was just really good. I was so happy with how he did. So, anyway, he was just fantastic. What a good boy. So then we come into our free walk. Let him go. He kind of curls a little bit, but I'm just trying to kind of get him to take out the contact. You can see me kind of try to bump him up a little bit to get him from curling and just getting behind the vertical. And then coming around, you go into your medium walk. So I'm starting to shorten up. Oh my god, excuse me, I'm so sorry. It's a horse show hangover. So normally we don't have that much of a walk. And then trot at K, and then we do our 20-meter circle, I think. This direction. And this small of an arena was kind of like messing with my mind a little bit because I'm used to riding in full-size dressage arenas. So, yeah. So we come into the corner, and I was so happy with all of his like trot to canter transitions. He got a little speedy in that one, but then he came back really, really nicely. And then we had our 20-meter circle here, and I was so impressed by how adjustable he felt and how good he felt in the snaffle. So I haven't been able to get a ride like this out of him in a snaffle in, gosh, I don't know how long. So he's definitely getting stronger, and he's getting calmer in the snaffle and not pulling nearly as much. But I don't know, I'm like really happy with how he did. And then we come down to the halt, and he's like, no. And I was like, come on.
Thank you.
But he was like, wait, I don't think he was expecting to halt, because like normally our tests are way longer than that. So I'm like, where else did you think you were gonna go? But I should have just prepared him better. So see how he's just like getting speedy after, and he's like, woo, this is fun. I mean, this is the first time ever in a warm-up arena. Like, the first couple jumps, like, he landed and like took me, and I was trying really hard just to sit against him, and then he ran into my upper body and he ran into my hands, and he was getting pissed. And then yeah, he was like, let me go. And I'm like, no, like, where do you think you're gonna go after this? Slow down. He's so funny. Yeah, it was that one. He was like, let's go. And I'm like, no, you have, like, no. Because I was like, you're gonna, like, what are you gonna do, jump out of the arena? So then we're coming to this oxer again, and he, like, launched over that one and then got really speedy and just kept trying to run off. And I was like, kid, come on. But I always made sure to pat him when he stopped, because I want him to associate, like, coming back to me after the fence and slowing down as the good option. And this one, he was just like, let's go. And I was like, no. And so I made him back up, because I was like, that was not okay. Like, because he's so strong. But so what you missed when we walked down there's that tent that's right there on the right, and one of the ladies had shut the cooler and put the lid down, and that spooked the crap out of him. So not her fault, but he got really spooky. So I circled and then brought him back to the canter. First time ever going through timers. Like, oh my god, what a good boy. And then we got to this jump. Beautiful. Like, he was so good. I had to give him a little half halt in the turn there, and then he spooked at the judge's box, so he came down to the trot. But I was not going to chase him to this fence and get him, like, going. So I just let him trot. And then he kind of was a little discombobulated, kind of started veering, and then I I wasn't trying to overcorrect him too much because I just wanted this to be a really good and fun experience for him. So I didn't really correct too much, but you saw I just had opened my right rein going to that last fence before this one. Beautiful down this line, and look at his little front leg like a deer. But like, what horse goes into an event and then I think he thought he was done here, and so he came down to the trot and I was like, okay, and then he was like, oh wait, no, there's another fence. And then went over that one, and then we come down to this rainbow, and this is his harder lead too. Beautifully jumped that, came around this turn. I cannot believe how well he's taken to jumping. Like, he was clear, obviously, and I'm like gonna get choked up talking about it, so I'm gonna stop right there.
Now it's too late. Do you want me to go get that? What are you gonna ask? Day with a smile on my face. Especially given the hot situation.
Right. Part number 2 is done. Got the horses loaded. All right. Day 2. Vlog 2. Done. We're loaded. Obviously, we're on our way home. I'm super like on cloud 9 from today. I literally cannot believe that, like, okay, so like I'm kind of disappointed with my dressage score with Renita because it was really bad. We got a 41, but obviously you saw, and I don't know if I'll voice over, so if I'm repeating this, which sometimes I do, so I'm sorry, but I like kind of talking through it to you guys through the camera. It kind of like lets me recap the day. But anyway, so what happened was Renita literally warmed up so calm, so relaxed. She was even almost stretching in the trot, which is very, like, she doesn't do that very much. Like, it takes a lot for her to stretch down and just relax and not be so like, go, 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 go. She like she has that brain mentality and she just goes. So anyway, she was warming up fantastic. I literally could not believe how great she felt the night before. And then in the morning, I was like, we were about to have like the best dressage test of our entire life. Like, I literally felt like that was going to happen. So you've got the jump arena, then the warm-up arenas, and the dressage arenas. And to get into the dressage ring that you are going to be competing in, you walk like you're going back to the barn. Well, she decided that we were going back to the barn, so she started jigging, and she was just like, would not walk, and just, I literally could not get her brain back down. She just had it, like, once she's in that mode, like, I can't do anything to bring her back, like, unless I'm jumping or unless I'm doing something like that. But like, when it comes to the flat, she just like literally will not, she's just like, this is, I can't, so that's basically how our dressage just went. So she obviously cantered and thought she was supposed to canter, and then her halt was like, the judge's comments were extremely nice. I think she said head up high, and so, like, it just was really funny. Obviously, yes, our dressage score was very lackluster, and had we had a better dressage score, whatever, but that's always going to be her weak point, is dressage. That is always going to be her weak point, and I mean, on the flat and halt, that's just how she is. That's how she's been. She's gotten a lot better, but yeah, so we obviously know what we need to work on there. So, and I think had we not had to go back, like heading to get into the arena back to the direction of the barn, I don't think that necessarily would have happened, but I don't know. That's just my gut feeling. Like, she literally we walked through those gates, and she's like, we're done. And then I'm like, we haven't even done it yet. So that was very unfortunate, but whatever, you know, you can only do what you can, and you ride the horse you have that day. So I got through it. We got through it, and then our jump round, honestly, like, I feel like my equitation over the fence, over a couple of them, could have been a lot better. But I think we had the most fluid and the most she was so good, like, absolutely so good. No refusal. She jumped everything beautifully. Just coming into that double, we just had like a little miscommunication there, and it was either like the spot she saw was not the spot I saw, and I was like, there is no way I'm gonna let you launch into this double, because that's how she turns those into a bounce. If she literally launches and takes that long spot, she has so much power that we are not going to land at the right spot, and that's going to turn into a bounce. So I'm really happy that she actually waited, even though we did clip the rail, and we knocked the rail down. I don't care about that. Like, it was a huge win, just the fact that she went around so fluidly and quietly. I mean, quiet for her, but she felt super rideable and super adjustable, like, in that course, which is not like her. So I don't know. I think she was like, I'm so sorry about the dressage test. Here, let me make it up for you. And then that one was just a, you know, it happens. Rider sees a distance, horse sees a distance. Horse that was going preliminary sees a distance. A lot of times it's not a very fun distance for the rider to ride. So I'm just happy she sat back and waited, and I'm on cloud nine with her. And then Zeke went in, and he was phenomenal. We got a 30 something on our dressage test, which I actually really think that was like kind of hard for, like, we were being judged really hard. I don't know. Like, I feel like he did way better than a 33, except for like the last, like the halt, when she saw in the video, he just was like, oh, I'm not stopping. And since he was in the double, obviously, you know, it's less, he is more on the forehand, and he tries to pull more. So when I sat up and he ran into my upper body and I kept my hands there, he was like, oh, what the heck? Like, I didn't want to stop. And I'm like, well, you didn't really have much room to go anywhere else, kid. So anyway, but after the dressage test, we were in 5th place, and then show jumping, he was literally the funniest thing ever. Like, I was getting a little concerned about how fast he was charging after the fences when we were warming up, but then when I took him in, it like literally felt like a hunter round. Like, he was just, had this beautiful consistent pace. All of the distances came up so nicely on him, like, for literally like us going out and doing that little 2-foot course. I mean, I've jumped him since that one video, like that first video over the cross rails. I've jumped him a total of 4 times, like, course wise over fences. So I've jumped him a total of 4 times. And we, like, occasionally, like when we were going out and doing like flat workout and doing the hills and stuff, we'd go over some of those little cross country jumps. So like, I mean, realistically, like he's been over a handful of jumps. And I was very worried about whether or not he would get overheated, and he didn't at all. I made sure to, like when I do a warm-up jump, I'd let him walk for a little bit, and then I do another warm-up jump and I let him walk for a little bit. And then throughout the course, obviously we trotted sometimes because we had some spooks, but like that arena, those jumps, like the timer, like literally everything, he was just like, okay, like that horse just loves to jump. And I'm so excited for his future, because I think it's we're kind of going to be taking a turn. I mean, I still want to get my bronze medal, and I still want to like get the rest of my scores towards my medal, just because that's a goal of mine that I want to do, and I really think we can still do it. But after that, I don't really feel like I'm getting this. I just don't really feel like I should push to try and get my silver. Okay, so I'm showered. I'm back here at the barn. We are taking Stacy's trailer tomorrow, so I'm going to pack what I need for cross country tomorrow into her trailer. Okay, I literally just threw like everything into here. Okay, I need my helmet, so we'll take that first thing. And I'm super swollen and gross.